365 Days of Horsemanship, day 174 and 175. So day 174, unfortunately, I didn't make it up to the horses, but I wanted to talk about it because it was really a positive day for me, and I was really just grateful. So basically, I finished work, I was a little late off, and I had my graduation in the morning, and I knew that I was going to have to wash my hair and, do all these like things at home. I wasn't sure what I was going to wear yet, and I just didn't have time. I had to get up early in the morning, drive to Warwick, and I came home. And it was like 8 p.m. and I kind of had like an hour to get all these things done before I would go to bed. And I got in and I was so annoyed. I was so frustrated and irritated, and I was in such a bad mood because I couldn't see the horses. And honestly, it was just amazing to feel that way. Like, it sounds crazy, but like, to go from where I was, which was so avoidant and unconfident and like looking for any excuse like not to have to do it today, just because I was so like unconfident in the pathway that I was taking, and I felt so like not meaningless, but I just didn't feel fulfilled by what I was doing with my horses. Versus now, where even like on days like today, like I've turned up today, I'm like still pretty tired, and I've definitely had like half an hour when I've arrived here just to kind of like chill out and watch some videos on my phone and just relax a little bit before I've started these videos. But even on days like today, like I'm really looking forward to getting out and doing the session, and I just feel so grateful to feel that way. And it was really positive. So I just wanted to take a second just to kind of appreciate that, like day 174, like 174 days of horsemanship pretty much every day. I think since the start of this project, I've had like maybe 10-15 days that I've not done the horses all in, if I'm not counting like holidays. Like days when I've been here and I could have done them, it's probably been like 10 or 15 days in all of that time. And I just feel so good about that. I feel so like positive. I really feel like I'm learning the value of consistency, and I'm really learning to enjoy more and more the sessions the more I do them. And I'm really stretching my ability to build habits, which is something that when I reflect on my life has been something I've always struggled with. I'm constantly starting projects and never finishing them, doing things, with a lot of passion in the beginning and then struggling to continue that habit consistently. And so I just feel really happy and grateful to feel like that I am training my body successfully and my mind to be able to enjoy consistency in that way. So day 175, I came up after my graduation with my boyfriend because I'd obviously put some makeup on. I was wearing a nice dress. I just wanted to basically take advantage of him having the day off to come and take some lovely photos of me with the horses, which actually kind of worked really well. What I actually did find that I really enjoyed was he really likes one of the other horses in the herd. And this particular horse finds it quite difficult to be halted or to have people near them. And so I was able to help him a little bit with his feel and timing around this horse's positioning and his movements. And it was really cool, and I felt really relaxed and confident while in that like teaching position, which is something I've never really felt when I've been trying to teach the more dominant sides of training. And so that felt really positive. I really enjoyed it. It was really amazing timing with Lawrence. I got some amazing pictures. He decided to have a roll. It had been raining earlier in the day, and so he was a little wet. And he decided to have a roll and then have a little lie down. And so I got some really beautiful pictures with him, which I was really happy about. And I just was amazed by how interactive the session was. Like, I could have stayed for another half an hour with Lawrence, and I didn't, because my partner was there and we had some nice photos, and I really didn't want my partner to feel like we had stayed too long. I knew that, you know, he was doing this for me as a bit of a labor of love, and I wanted to appreciate that and not keep him here, you know, for 3 hours, and just have an awareness that, you know, I may have built my muscles to that degree, but he probably hasn't. So yeah, it was really amazing just to I feel so progressive in my sessions with Lawrence at the moment. Definitely with Mia, it's more complex because I feel like I have these different goals and desires within our training sessions, where I'm partially wanting to work on the freedom stuff, and then I'm partially wanting to work more dominantly, simply just for speed. And so I feel progressive with Mia, but I also know that I'm not offering her the consistency with the fitness and the dominant training that would be ideal for her. But I am offering her the consistency of connection, and so I'm sort of trying to accept that, you know, I can't do everything. But both of them, really, I do feel I can say consistently, are more engaged and interactive and curious with me than ever, which is really cool. Yesterday with Mia, I definitely had a really interesting session in terms of, this is probably the 3rd or 4th time that I've noticed her take me for a drink of water. And I really feel very honored to be taken there, because there's so few things that I think she feels that I am useful for, or that I can provide for her, or situations where she feels that I'm a good leader. And that is definitely one of those times. And so I feel really amazing that we're starting to build some patterns of behavior that we can do together that feel good for both of us. I'm really just pleased about that. I've been realizing a lot recently that this style of training, and I think training generally, is about recognizing patterns of behavior and understanding what's going to happen next. Because if you recognize a pattern of behavior, you're more likely to be able to predict what's going to happen next. And ultimately, that is what the best horse trainers of all types and disciplines are able to do. When people talk about feel and timing, a big part of that is being able to know what's going to happen next. In the same way that, you know, if you're playing in an orchestra, you're looking for the players around you to be in time with them, to know what's happening next in the music. You know, you're reading the music along, you know what happens next, and then you can all come in at the same time together in order to affect and influence the notes and the music that's being played. In the same way with the horses, it's like you want to be able to come in at exactly the right time. You don't want to be reacting, you want to be interacting, where you're in sync with each other. And the more that you're able to predict what's going to happen, the more you recognize a pattern of behavior at the beginning of the pattern, the more you're able to interact and manage with that horse as they go through that pattern of behavior. And that's something that I think I've really learned recently. I've noticed this with Mia with the water, and I've also noticed it with Lawrence, that where I'm working on this touching distance with him, and generally with him, when he finds something stressful, his pattern is some sort of freeze, whether that's mental freeze, physical freeze, or both. Then there's usually a period of movement, which, depending on how stressed he's become, is either more flight or more yield. With me at this point, with the touching distance, if it's just a normal day and he's been grazing, then it tends to be more of a yield. Then there'll be another freeze, a small freeze, and then there'll be some thinking. Knowing that that's going to happen means that when he's frozen initially, I'm ready to start walking. So the next step for me now is to notice what happens before he starts walking. What is it that changes him from frozen to walking? Whether that's time, whether that's movement, whether that's noise, whether that's something else that's happening, if he's blinking or he's moving his ears or something like that that's happening, just to begin to predict that better, so that I can get ahead of the pattern and I can start to interact with him and start moving first, so that he goes, wow, yeah, you know exactly how I feel and what I want to do. Then over time, he starts to feel like he doesn't need to move so much, because he knows that I know when to move. So it feels good. I think it was a really amazing session. It was really lovely to have my partner here, and it's been really great now to have 2 sessions where my partner's been, and I really feel that it's been, I guess I would say, an enhancement to the session. What I think I'm really pleased about is that there was no detriment to the session, that I was able to have the horses and my partner here, and feel like I really enjoyed the session, and that it was time-worthy and progressive. So I'm really looking forward to whatever my sessions bring today. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with Mia yet. I feel like I should do the dominant training. I gotta say, I don't have the same passion for it that I do for the freedom-based work, but I feel like if I want to, I feel like once I can ride, once she's okay with me riding her, I feel like quite quickly we'll be able to progress through other skills. And if I want to be able to do that, I need to put the preparation in to the fitness. So it's kind of like something that has to be done. I definitely do find the sessions interesting, and I do feel like I'm learning things. I think I just feel less passionate about it, but I just need to suck it up, keep training myself, and yeah, try to find ways to make it work for both of us. So yeah.